When Jesus first comes on the scene, he hand selects these 12 different men and invites them to be his apprentices called disciples. As things progress, other people become interested in Jesus and what he is saying and doing, and he allows them too to come in and to sit and to listen at his feet. The picture of sitting at the feet of a teacher is a classic expression for what happened between Jewish rabbis and pupils in that day and age. For example, here's a quote from an ancient educational manual from the first century. It says this: "Let thy house be a meeting house for the sages, and sit amidst the dust of their feet and drink their words with thirst." Now, here's the big deal, what's kind of going on with this that I don't want you to miss. Back then, the Jewish rabbis, they refused to allow women to sit at their feet. Women were not allowed to be disciples. They were only to be trained in household duties with things like cooking and sewing and whatnot. They were forbidden from theological education. So the fact that Jesus here, he allows Mary, a woman, to sit at his feet and to learn is a big deal. And he not only allows it, but he actually encourages her and commends her and honors her for it. Jesus, he was never afraid to challenge and confront and correct social norms that were not in line with who God is and what he means for us as his people. We saw that last week in the story of the Good Samaritan, where Jesus addressed racism and calls us to be people who love people of all different colors of skin. This week, Jesus, he welcomes in another often marginalized group of our society, the female gender, women. And look at how he honors her as being a prime example of what it looks like and means to be one of his disciples. In verse 42, he says, "Mary has chosen the good portion." She's a good example for us today. Mary was likely the only woman sitting at the feet of Jesus in this group of a bunch of men, a bunch of guys. It probably took a lot of courage for her. Imagine this, to go in there and to that room and to sit down on the floor and listen to Jesus. And Jesus said she made a good choice. For our women here today present in the room, I want you to know just really clearly that here at our church, at the Resolve Church, we do not believe that women are less than or somehow inferior to men. We believe that women are a wonderful gift from God to be cherished and honored, and that women are very smart and very capable of doing all kinds of things. In the story of Jesus' life, actually, if you kind of take a gander through the entire account of his life and time on earth, it's often women who end up being Jesus' best disciples. Unlike all of the dudes, none of the women ever abandon Jesus. They follow him all the way up to the cross when all the other disciples peace out. They're there at the tomb when he rises from the dead. The Bible honors women in the story of Jesus with some of the best and brightest examples of confessions of faith in Jesus. We'll see that today.